ENCA's Samgele Masego is at the inquiry for us, and he joins us live. Samgele, good morning to you. So take us back to yesterday's testimony and in particular this element about dropping charges against the former president.
Well, Oli, yesterday Willie Hofmeyr basically said he's a former Deputy National Director of Public Prosecutions during the time of Mokgoro, outlining how the charges against former President Jacob Zuma were dropped during his cross-examination by Advocate Arnsa, who is representing Nomgcobo Jiba. I'm just going to ask my colleague Linga Ndabambi just to show you Nomgcobo Jiba is there sitting in front with her legal representatives, her senior legal team, which is normally led by Advocate Zolama Chavu asked to be excused today. Then on this side here, right at the back, you've got Mrwebi, the former senior prosecutor within the NPA, who's currently suspended. And then you've got the man of the hour here, who yesterday dropped bombshells saying that Bulelani Nguga, along with Leonard McCarthy, during those controversial spy tapes and recordings of when the Scorpions then with the NPA, then led by Bulelani Nguga, were trying to figure out when to institute those criminal and fraud charges against former President Jacob Zuma. Willie Hofmeyr saying yesterday there was a political motive or connotation to those recordings by Bulelani Nguga and Leonard McCarthy to achieve certain political gains. He says, I quote him, to put it bluntly and more crude, they basically wanted to ensure that former President Thabo Mbeki was re-elected as the ANC president, end of quote. That was going towards the ANC's 2007 watershed conference in Polokwane, basically saying that the NPA, as far back as 2007, was being used as a political tool by politicians, and fast forwarding it to this era of state capture, which he terms that the NPA was still being used, and people like Mrwebi and Nomgcobo Jiba were central in protecting and not wanting to prosecute politicians, saying he can go as far back as 2011 and asking if any senior politician had been found guilty and sentenced to jail for fraud and corruption, with the exception of John Block, the former ANC national provincial chairperson in the Northern Cape and MEC of Economic Development in the Northern Cape, who is arguably one of the only politicians who's been sentenced for fraud and corruption. Basically, Hofmeyr is alluding and alleging that Nomgcobo Jiba and Mrwebi were central in protecting politicians and only prosecuting those who were against former President Jacob Zuma, which would be the likes of the current Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan.
All right, Samgele Masego will have to leave it there for the moment, but we'll keep touching base with Samgele Masego throughout the day to get updates on that inquiry. Well,